It's great to have you on the show, and I'm sure you're quite happy with the rally we're seeing on the NSE today. What I'm hearing, though, is that on top of the gains we're seeing, we're now beginning to see quite a bit of volume trickling into the market.
Thank you, Wole, for having me. You're correct. I'm glad, because the market is on a bull run. And it's pleasant, one can just wish that it just goes on forever. But, as you said, the market is active, particularly this week. The reason being, one of the major reasons why the market was very active this week was very active trading in Union Bank that we saw. About 2.45 billion of it traded on Tuesday. And, if you look at Union Bank has one of the least number of shares outstanding, and the outlook for the company is becoming more clearer. And we believe that by the end of the year, the company will do very well. And again, incidentally, again, the NSE All-Share Index was able to cross the 24,000 mark this week again. Right. So that is good time at the stock market. And this money are coming in, as you mentioned earlier on, a lot of money is coming in from abroad, to take advantage of the fixed income market. But all that money is all going to the fixed income market. We have very heavy buying, by foreign clients in the equities market as well. Right.
And of course, where we're seeing a lot of buying today is in the banking sector. I'm hearing that we saw ₦1 billion of trades in Zenith Bank alone. We saw, of course, as well in GT Bank, and I had a discussion earlier this morning about the valuation of the stock. But we'll continue to see that price inch higher. Can you just talk a bit about the interest we're seeing in some of the top tier names in the banking space?
As Riley said, we had a lot of trade in Zenith Bank today. But if you look at the result released by the bank, particularly the top tier banks, First Bank, GT Bank, Zenith Bank, you will see that these results are fundamentally very strong results. Compared to historical figures, these figures are very major improvements on the ends of these companies. And to end the year, it's just rational that anybody should want to take advantage of the current price right now to key in, because to end the year, these companies are going to be, declaring very fantastic earnings, very good corporate actions to investors, and right. This is just the right time to enter. So it's like, everybody just trying to reposition, everybody trying to take a stake in the goodies to come to end the year.
And of course, going into next week, we're going to see that workshop hosted by the Nigerian Stock Exchange ahead of the introduction of market making. I think that's something that perhaps is exciting the market right now. But can you just talk a bit about what you're expecting as we see market making come into the fore in Nigeria?
Thank you, Wole. Market making is key, it's critical, and one of the great work the current management of the Nigerian Stock Exchange is doing is to appoint, market makers so that we can have continuous liquidity in the market. Liquidity is key for equities market, apart from appropriate pricing, which many participants come to achieve through efficient pricing. Liquidity is key, and these market makers were essentially selected to provide this liquidity that the market does need. And I have a list with me here. We have about 10 of these market makers. We have companies like Betiva, Greenwich, WSTC, FBN stockbrokers, Dunlop & Murphy stockbrokers, Stanbic IBTC stockbrokers, RenCap stockbrokers, Capital Bancorp, CSL, and Future View. And this is exciting because you have these companies and you have stocks under this various stockbroking arms, these companies that are listed are supposed to provide continuous trading. Can we get a sense of the stocks, though? I know it's not every company that they're going to start with, but can you give me a sense of the stocks that they will be making markets in? Okay, let me just give you an example of, in the basket here, we have Betiva Securities going to be trading, market making in these stocks. We have Nigerian breweries under Betiva, we have Bank of Nigeria, we have Honorable Flour Mill, IHL, NASCON, Mutual Benefit, Nigeria Energy, Just International, NCR. Across board,
okay, so it's really broad-based,
small
cap stocks. It's not just a few companies. We are seeing virtually the entire market covered. We should be excited.
Virtually, on the average, each of these companies that I mentioned have on average of 20 stocks on their basket that they will market making on.
Fantastic. We look forward to that, and hopefully we'll get some more clarity. But I think one of the interesting things about the introduction of market making is that we're going to see that price band that we have. It's 5% today. Come September 18, what we're hearing now is that it's going to move over to 10%. Your thoughts on how that will impact the volumes, the trading activity on the NSE?
Yeah, you're correct, Wole, but let me quickly add again that 10% you see is not the stretch 10% that the stock must gain before it stops moving. That's the circuit breaker. What's going to happen is that the board of the Nigerian Stock Exchange now has set the rules such that when the stocks gain 5%, it can be allowed to get an additional 5% being reset. So it's not going to be a 10% gain straight up, but after 5%, the stock is allowed to get additional 5%. The rules will become clearer on how we go about that. But this is going to be good. This is good, which means that we're going to have more movement in prices. We're going to have more arbitrage happening. We're going to have more speculation, more investment, and it's going to be an exciting time. And just stock market is positioning for better times.
Well, I think we look forward to it. But to what extent would you say? I see that today we see 3.3 billion naira worth of trades. To what extent would you say that the expectation of market making has played a role in the volumes we're seeing? Could it be that some people are buying ahead of the activity they were expecting when market making kicks off?
Yeah, you're correct. One of the reasons why the market is doing well, is that, as you said, the market making will become full-blown by September 18, and it's only appropriate that people begin to see seriousness in the Nigerian capital market, to see the possibility of having continuous liquidity. But again, you must be careful about the analysis, because if you look at it, most of the stocks that have contributed to this positive performance within the market are highly capitalized stocks, very liquid stocks. But as I went through the list with you, you have a lot of stocks that are relatively illiquid, as you say. And one of the rules that we're hearing again is that the Nigerian Stock Exchange plans to reduce the number of stocks needed to make a price move, which is about 10,000. It's still unclear. We're still waiting for that. Of course, combination of factors as well. The positive macroeconomic data from Nigeria, improved external reserves, improved borderline prices, declining yields in fixed income markets, and some level of positive news coming from the European Central Bank concerning the bond buying plan and the stability in that region. And of course, so much money out there, particularly in Europe and Americas, that are looking for best returns and find themselves into the Nigerian market.
Hopefully, risk will be back in play. Of course, as you mentioned, what's going on in Europe as well has a bearing on our market. Thank you so much, Jide, for joining us.